This meeting of the Starkville Board of Aldermen will now come to order. Please rise for the saying of the Pledge of Allegiance, after which Alderman Vaughn would like to yield to Pastor Stone for a word of prayer, and we will observe a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Father God, we come before you now, first of all, to say thank you for this day, a day that we've never seen before.
Thank you.
Father God, as we give you praise, we pause and we want to lift up the Crump family before you right now. Praying, dear Master, that you will wrap your loving arms around them. As we stand here in this new city hall, oh God, we're still reminded that there's tragedy in the world. So as we lift up the Crump family, we continue to pray for those that are in Paris. But Lord God, as our Board of Aldermen and Mayor and city officials meet on tonight, we pray that your hand will be upon them, that you will lead and guide them and give them the wisdom that they need to do what's best and what's right for the citizens of Starkville. We thank you for all of the progress that we have made. We thank you in advance for the progress that we're going to continue to make. Be in this meeting on tonight. Let your spirit superintend, and we'll be so careful and grateful to give you all the honor, all the glory, and all the praise. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, you have before you a copy of the written agenda. Are there any proposed revisions to the agenda as written? Alderman Maynard?
Mr. Mayor, under public appearances, number 2, public appearance by the Starkville Main Street Association. They have requested that be pulled off the agenda.
Proposed revision from Alderman Maynard is to strike item Roman numeral 7B, a public appearance by the Starkville Main Street Association. Is there any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Seeing none, that matter's been stricken from the agenda. Alderman Maynard, do you have further proposed revision?
Yes, sir. Under Mayor's Business 9H, pull that from the agenda.
Proposed revision from Alderman Maynard is to strike Roman numeral 9H, the First Amendment to access a maintenance easement with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Mississippi State University, and the City of Starkville. Alderman Maynard, is that your proposed revision?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Seeing none, that item's been stricken from the agenda. Alderman Maynard, do you have any further proposed revisions?
Yes, Mayor, under Departmental Business 11B2D. D, 11B2D. This item is being withdrawn at the request of Capital Growth Properties for a hearing at a later date. And so I'd like to withdraw that, but I have a question for the city attorney prior to that. Mr. City Attorney, if they choose to withdraw this voluntarily, they can come back to the board at a later date without having to go back through planning and zoning for that process.
Yes, sir. So long as that meeting meets the statutory notice requirements and they either bring back the same designation or a lesser designation, a less dense zoning request.
Okay. Mr. Moore, I ask, is that adequate? So, and you're comfortable with that, sir?
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Mayor, then I put that forth that they withdraw at the request of Capital Growth Properties for a hearing at a later date.
The proposed revision by Alderman Maynard is to recognize the voluntary withdrawal by the applicant for a hearing at a later date of item 11B2D. That is a rezoning request by Capital Growth Properties. Alderman Maynard, is that your proposed revision?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Seeing none, please note the change. Alderman Maynard, do you have any further proposed revisions?
Yes, sir. Under 11E5, pull that from the agenda.
Proposed revision from Alderman Maynard is to strike item 11E5 from the agenda. That is the consideration of budget amendments for fiscal year 9/30/15. Alderman Maynard, is that your proposed revision?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Seeing none, that matter's been stricken from the agenda. Alderman Maynard, do you have any further proposed revisions?
Yes, sir, on Department of Business, 11B2B. I'd like to move that under Mayor's Business, item A.
All right. One more time.
11B2B.
All right, 11B2B, that is the discussion and consideration of PP 15-17.
Yes, sir.
All right, proposed revision by Alderman Maynard is to reorder the agenda, placing what is now 11B2B, the discussion and consideration of PP 15-17, request for preliminary plat approval for subdividing one lot into two lots located plus or minus 0.27 miles south of Garrett Road and Highway 12 East intersection of the east side of Highway 12 East with the parent parcel number 117F-00-008.00 for the proposed 42,000 square foot Walmart neighborhood market and fuel station. Reorder that item to appear as item 9A, the first item under Mayor's Business. Alderman Maynard, is that your proposed revision?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Seeing none,
No further.
the agenda has been reordered. All
no
right,
further.
Alderman Perkins.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, under, item, E, Finance Administration, item number 1, request approval of the city's historical claims docket for all departments and et cetera. Want to move that item from its current place on the agenda, until after open session, if that could be renumbered, the new number is 16.
All right, the proposed revision from Alderman Perkins is to move item 11E1 to Roman numeral 16 on the agenda. That is a request for approval of the City of Starkville claims docket for all departments, including the Starkville Electric Department, as of November 11th, 2015, for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2016. Alderman Perkins, is that your proposed revision?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Seeing none, please note the change. Alderman Maynard, or excuse me, Alderman Perkins, do you have any further proposed revisions?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Hold on 1 second. Are there any further proposed revisions? Alderman Little.
I'd like to add item 9D, under Mayor's Business, to consent.
Proposed revision from Alderman Little is to place item 9D on the consent agenda. That is the discussion and consideration of the approval of the special event application for the annual Starkville Christmas Parade as submitted by Jennifer Prather of the Greater Starkville Development Partnership, granting authorization to close the necessary streets for the purpose of the parade procession at a cost to the city of $4,755 in in-kind services. Alderman Little, is that your proposed revision?
It is.
Do I hear any objection?
Mr. Mayor, the Vice Mayor objects to that being placed on the consent and any other item on the consent agenda.
That item will remain on the open agenda. Alderman Little, do you have further proposed revisions?
On approval of board Alderman minutes, item 4, I don't think we've received any minutes. Should we remove that and renumber?
There are no minutes. He's just saying, do we need to strike that?
Oh, you remove the number altogether?
Just
You
strike
don't
it.
have an agenda item on there, so as is the case with several items, you've got a
Okay, that's
category
fine,
but
that's
nothing
fine.
to consider.
That's
so-
fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Any further proposed revisions?
No, sir.
Any further proposed revisions? Any further proposed revisions? Alderman Walker.
Under Roman numeral number 7, public appearances, I'd like to remove public appearance by Dan Camp from the agenda at his request.
The proposed revision by Alderman Walker is to remove the previously scheduled public appearance by Mayor Dan Camp from the agenda. Alderman Walker, is that your proposed revision?
Yes.
Do I hear any objection? Any objection, any objection, any objection? Seeing none, that matter's been stricken from the agenda. Alderman Walker, do you have any further proposed revisions? Any further proposed revisions? Any further proposed revisions from the members of the board? Are there any further proposed revisions? Seeing none, do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as revised? Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve the agenda as revised. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. And the next matter you have before you is comments by the mayor and the members of the board. And I have one comment I'm going to make prior to moving into our introductions. And that is related to being here tonight. This is a very, very special evening for our community, as this is our first board meeting in our new city hall. This building will do many, many things. It is your building. I hope you make yourself at home at board meetings and throughout the weekdays here doing city business and other things you may find appropriate in this building. But one of the most special aspects of city government is these meetings. And I cannot predict what the future will hold for this community. I do know something about the nature of city government, and I can tell you that it's almost a certainty that through the years in this room, there will be some moments that are thrilling and some that are agonizing, and that is all a part of city government as it should be in a growing and thriving community. I am happy to be able to say that I was able to be here with each of you tonight on this special occasion where it all started. I would also like to make a few housekeeping notes relative to this being the first night in the new building. And that is first, just to say thank you to Lisa Harden and to all of the city employees who were responsible for moving out of the old city hall and into this building. We are still working out some bugs, and I would imagine for several weeks we will be working out some of the kinks of being in a new building. But I find it quite remarkable that just a couple of weeks ago, all of the operation of city government was taking place in another building. It's no small feat to move 24,000 square feet. And that's what's happened. You now have a fully operational city hall sitting right here on Main Street. And it would not have happened without Lisa's hard work coordinating the move and all of the employees that pitched in to help. We have scheduled a dedication for this building, December 4th at 4 o'clock. Please make plans to be here. This is a public celebration, and I hope you'll make plans to attend. Finally, just a note about the logistics of the room. People making presentations and comments should come forward and approach the board from the podium. You may enter either from the center aisle or on each side. There is a door. It can appear that it's a wall that goes all the way across. That is a swinging door. So if you're closer to the aisle, you may find it more convenient to enter over there. And with that said, we'll begin our employee introductions. And I'm going to pass the gavel to the vice mayor for the first introduction, because it is my new assistant, and I'd like to stand with her.
I tell you what, I'm gonna come down there and get that right. How about that? That's good. All right.
I'm good.
I'm good, thank you. He just asked me to do this.
Sure, that's great.
Well, our first introduction tonight is Ms. Vicki Hampton. Ms. Hampton is the administrative assistant for our mayor, Honorable Parker Wiseman. Ms. Vicki Hampton is originally from Phoebe, Mississippi, and graduated from West Clay County High School in Phoebe. Vicki received her Bachelor's of Science degree from Jackson State University in Business Administration and her Master's of Science in Instructional Technology from Mississippi State University. Before joining the city of Starkville, Vicki worked as an administrative assistant at Mississippi State University. Vicki enjoys spending time with her husband, Clifford, but during her free time, she likes reading, decorating, and event planning, as well as learning new technology trends. Vicki's mother, Barbara Mitchell, along with her sister, Renita, and brothers, Andre and Tracy, resides in Phoebe, Mississippi. Vicki and Clifford attend Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church in Louisville, Mississippi. Let's give her a warm round of applause. And Mr. Mayor, if you want to have any comments about your new administrative assistant, you're at liberty to do so.
Well, I appreciate that. Vicki has been with us for close to a month now. And Vicki got here just in time for the big move. We have put her decorating skills to the test. And she is responsible for much of the placement and decoration that you see around the building. In addition to that, I have found her services most helpful to me as I go about my day-to-day activities. Vicki, we're just so pleased to have you on board and look forward to a long tenure with the city.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, I'd now like to introduce Thomas Tyson, new police officer. Thomas is originally from Tampa, Florida, and is a graduate of Eupora High School. He attended Holmes Community College, where he majored in industrial technology. Prior to joining the city of Starkville, Thomas was a job foreman for Byram Construction Company. Thomas is the son of Vicki Collins and Richard Tyson, and he is the proud father of two sons, Jax and Jake. When time permits, he enjoys carpentry and woodworking, working out, and spending time with his girlfriend, Alexandria. Thomas and his family attend St. Joseph Catholic Church. Please join me in welcoming Thomas Tyson. I'd now like to introduce Dylan Reed, a new maintenance worker in the new construction rehab division of the Utilities Department. All right, we'll introduce him at the next meeting. I'd now like to introduce Joshua Hogue. Joshua is a new firefighter. Joshua is originally from Maben, Mississippi, and is a graduate of Maben High School. Prior to joining the Starkville Fire Department, Joshua was the head of maintenance for CK Realty. Joshua and his wife Jody are the proud parents of three children, Anthony, JC, and Abby. During his free time, Joshua enjoys hunting and fishing. Joshua and his family attend Meadowview Baptist Church. Please join me in welcoming Joshua. I'd now like to introduce Wesley Champion, a new apprentice lineman in the Utilities Department. Wesley is originally from Phoebe, Mississippi, and is a graduate of East Webster High School. He attended East Mississippi Community College. Before joining the city of Starkville, Wesley worked for MDR Powerline Construction as a primary operator and apprentice lineman. Wesley is the son of Robert and Pam Champion. During his spare time, Wesley enjoys water parks, duck hunting, and spending time with his girlfriend, Caitlin. Wesley and his family attend Manti Baptist Church. Please join me in welcoming Wesley. Justin Hatcher is another apprentice lineman with the Utilities Department. Justin is originally from Walthall, Mississippi, and is a graduate of East Webster High School. He attended Mississippi State University. Justin worked for MDR Construction as an operator before joining the city of Starkville. Justin is the son of John and Jenny Hatcher. He enjoys hunting, fishing, playing with his Aussie Doodle, Maylee, and spending time with his girlfriend, Jordan. Justin and his family attend Mathiston First Baptist Church. Please join me in welcoming Justin. And finally, I'd like to introduce Orlando Smith, another apprentice lineman in the Utilities Department. Orlando is from Columbus, Mississippi, and is a graduate of Columbus High School. He's received his Bachelor of Science degree from Mississippi Valley State University, where he majored in criminal justice. Orlando is the son of Susie Somerville and Mayor Robert Smith, and he is the proud father of a daughter, Carmen. When time permits, Orlando enjoys playing basketball and spending time with his family. Orlando and his family attend Stevens Chapel Baptist Church. Please join me in welcoming Orlando. And that concludes my comments this evening. Do we have any comments from the members of the board? Alderman
Thank you,
Wynn.
Mr. Mayor. Pastor Carpenter, will you please come forward, please? Good evening, Pastor Carpenter. I serve as the city's liaison to the Starkville Housing Authority Board. And on Thursday, I have the opportunity to have lunch with Pastor Carpenter. And that would be the last day that Pastor Carpenter will serve us in his role as one of the members of the Starkville Housing Authority Board. And he has served on that board for a little bit more than 5 years. I want to say thank you so much. Pastor Carpenter is resigning because in August, he became Judge-elect Carpenter for the Justice Court. I want to say thank you so much for your service and congratulations, and I wish you well in your new endeavor. Thank you.
Are there any further comments from the members of the board? Any further comments? Any further comments? Alderman Carter.
I was gonna say the nicest part about this whole building is probably these chairs. But from a logistics standpoint, can everybody hear us in the back, or is this something we don't know yet? So is it just maybe speak up a little bit? Just make it. Okay. Just want to make sure y'all can hear us in the back. We can. Okay. We'll speak up. Thank you.
Any further comments? Are there any further comments? Any further comments? And we are still tweaking the audio equipment. Hopefully, by the time we settle in, it won't be hard to hear anybody. But in the meantime, we'll all try to speak in our best elected official voice. All right, at this time, the floor is open for citizen comments. Any citizen wishing to make comments may do so by coming forward, introducing yourself, and you'll be recognized to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes.
Good evening, the name Alvin Turner, Ward 7. I'm gonna recognize Vice Mayor Perkins, Alderman Vaughn, and Alderman Walker.
Thank you, sir.
With the situation that happened in Paris, we need to get real careful and real safe. If we beat up on our police officers that we have, we might wind up under military police. You don't know anything about it, but people in the military, they know about military police. We have one situation on Scale Street and Glenn Street. We have a traffic backup. and, it makes it very hard to get in and out, around school time. If you could put a light or off there to kind of direct traffic, it's real irritable. And that's on scale in Griffin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Further citizen comments?
Good afternoon, Board and Mayor. My name is Kayla Gilmore of KMG Creations. Recently, about a week and a half ago, KMG Creations had its 7th annual military charity dance recital, which went wonderfully. I want to take a moment to say thank you, Mayor, for helping prepare the proclamation, and I also want to thank our Vice Mayor for standing in your absence. And thanks for the support of being there. I want to take time to say thank you, Ms. Lisa Wynn, for being there as well, supportive, and Alderman Vaughn. Thank you for your support. I also want to say one more thing. Ms. Vicky, she helped me a lot, and I appreciate that because it was like the first day coming in and she helped. I want to also make this military charity dance recital more of community engagement. So I'm asking if you have any of your talents or skills to come be a part, contribute to the military recital, because it's honoring our veterans, and also it's honoring our veterans in the nursing home, which I got to see last week as well. So I want to say thank you, thank you, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gilmore. Alderman Wynn.
Ms. Gilmore, first of all, thank you so much for all that you do for our community. I was so impressed by your program that you put on honoring our military veterans. And it was very touching, and I thought the PowerPoint, when we saw all of those pictures, and the Whitney Houston song was playing, I looked to you. And it was so very touching to see our veterans on those pictures. And some of those I recognized. I saw one of my students, and I learned that she is actually in Iraq serving our country, and I taught her when she was kindergarten. And I called up her mom and I said, I didn't know that until I went to this program and I saw her picture on there. So I want to say thank you for all that you do. And next year, I want to submit you a picture of my son. He left on Monday and he's based at Fort Sill for his training to become a National Guard reservist for our city, for our state. So I want to say again, thank you for all it is that you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gilmore. Further citizen comments?
Hi, my name is Kendria. I'm here to represent the mayor's youth pastor. And for those of you who don't know where we are, we're basically young activists in the community who wants to better Starkville. And so I would also like to point out that this year, for Christmas, this is Christmas time, we wanted to help out families in need. So we're going to do Adopt a Family, and we're selling raffle tickets to go towards that. And they're $2, and you also get entered to a chance to win a $100 Walmart gift card. So please find one of them and buy a ticket from them, because it does go to Adopt a Family, and we're going to buy them toys and things they need for Christmas.
Thank you, and thank you for making an excellent presentation. Want to thank you all for being here. Let's give them a hand. This is a great group. I was most impressed with all of you and your interviews and in the induction process. Now, our group last year set a high bar, so we expect big things of you, and we want you to meet or exceed the standard that the groups before you have set for the Mayor's Youth Council. Thank you so much for your service. Further citizen comments? Any further citizen comments? Any further citizen comment? All right, seeing none, the next matter on the agenda is the Walmart project. Give me just a moment. PP 15-17, the request for preliminary plat approval for the Walmart Neighborhood Market. Mr. Sanders, would you like to introduce the matter?
I can read that fast, but
I'll slow down.
I'm pleased to introduce I'll let Daniel start off.
TT 15-17 is a request by Carlson Construction Engineers on behalf of Development Enterprises of Starkville LLC for preliminary plat approval for subdividing one lot into two for the proposed building of a 42,000 square foot Walmart neighborhood market and gas station. The parent parcel is approximately 41.37 acres. It is currently zoned C2 general business and R1 residential. The R1 residential portion is this back portion, which is not part of this preliminary plat. The proposed parcel is 7.5 acres. The parcel was not previously platted subdivision, no notice was required. 70-foot right-of-way will also be dedicated as part of the subdivision. The future road will service the proposed parcel and the future development. Just orienting north is this way, here's Highway 12. This is the 7.58 acre site, and this is the proposed right-of-way, which consists of 2 travel lanes and a center turn lane. On November 10, 2015, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the request for preliminary plat with the following conditions. When infrastructure plan has been approved for construction, a pre-construction conference shall be held with the appropriate city staff prior to the commencement of any construction activities at the site. When required improvements are complete, the applicant shall provide as-built drawings of all infrastructure improvements, water, sewer, storm drainage, roadways, sidewalks, etc., in AutoCAD format, as well as a paper copy that is signed and sealed by a licensed professional engineer, indicating that the improvements were installed under his or her responsible direction, and that the improvements conform to the approved construction plan and specifications and the city ordinance. All associated costs of the MDOT approved traffic signal are to be paid for by the applicant. Traffic signal arm associated equipment shall be chosen by the city. Traffic signal arm associated equipment shall be installed to the city's satisfaction prior to a certificate of occupancy being issued. Just to point out where that is located, that this existing curb cut, they're proposing improvements with the turn lanes and then also the signalization of that intersection.
Questions or comments from the members of the board? Mr. Sanders or Mr. Haslam? Any questions or comments for Mr. Sanders or Mr. Haslam?
Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Walker.
The one comment I have concerning this plat is looking at the properties just to the north of this. That's where we have what appears to be is that the medical? Mississippi Land Bank, and then you have La Quinta just next to that. And so that that road, it seems to be somewhat of a frontage road, and I wonder if there's an opportunity to be able to connect to potentially have two, essentially a frontage road connection across that property boundary, so that the new Walmart can be serviced by the hotel and others without having to get back on Highway 12.
Staff did bring that up with Walmart, and they were stating that there is a terrain issue, that they are here to address that issue if you have any questions of them.
Any further questions or comments? Alderman Maynard.
What is the elevation change? It's pretty significant right there.
I believe it was 10 to 12 feet, just going from memory there. And then there was also some recently installed utilities located right there in this portion of it. And then that drive is privately owned.
We point that drive out again?
It's right here. This is the land bank building right here. This is some of their parking in the front.
So that's just a concrete drive right there.
It's asphalt.
Asphalt?
Curb, concrete curb and gutter asphalt.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions? Alderman Carver.
Do y'all feel with those 3 highlighted points, that that's enough checks and balances to check this development before you issue a CO? I mean, do you feel like that's adequate?
Well, there's multiple ordinances in which they would have to adhere to. So beyond, these 3 conditions, there are the ordinances in which they would have to come into compliance through the developmental review committee. answer your question, yes, sir.
Alderman Maynard.
Mr. Moore, I think you may be representing this group. Do you have any comments?
Actually, I don't. That's all correct. There is, by state statute, I don't have the code section with me, the city will have to assume the maintenance of that light once it's installed. But that's a statutory item that can be dealt with, at a later date.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval with the 3 conditions recommended by Planning and Zoning Commission, PP 15-17 preliminary plat.
Alderman Maynard has made a motion to approve item PP 15-17, a request for preliminary plat approval for subdividing one lot into 2 lots located plus or minus 0.27 miles south of Geared Road and Highway 12 East intersection on the east side of Highway 12 East with the parent parcel number 117F-00-008.00 for the proposed 42,000 square foot Walmart neighborhood market and fuel station with the 3 conditions as recommended by staff and as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits?
I just want to thank them from the citizens of Ward 5 for getting a grocery store on the north side of town. I think that's going to be an excellent addition. My wife thanks them as well because it's going to be a lot closer to where we are to get to the next grocery store. And I'm very excited about this being built.
Further discussion, Alderman Nguyen.
I've got my list made out because I cannot tell you the number of people that have called me that may not be city residents. And I'm gonna write, I have a couple that I've written out. Some of the Rock Hill residents, some of the old West Point Road residents that have been going to, West Point shopping, they can now come into our city and go shopping. Clayton Village, Bel Air, Hickory Road, Pat Station, Highland Plantation, and those large apartment complexes over there. I'm happy for that area. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I yield the floor at this time.
Alderman Carver.
I think this is just another testament to the growth in this town. If you would have told me just 6 years ago that we'd have a car dealership and a Walmart's, grocery store and a fuel center and the hotels and everything going, but, I think this is yet again just a testament to the growth that side of town has taken, and this will be a good anchor and a good base point for visitors to our town who, that's an easy ingress and egress to the university and to also the football stadium. So I think that'll be a high traffic area, and this will allow people that are maybe want to get in and out of town quick after the ball game, maybe a quick stop before their drive home. So I applaud the city staff, everything y'all have done on this project, so thank you.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Thank you, gentlemen. The next matter on the agenda is the discussion and consideration. Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve the reserved City Hall parking plan as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is a discussion and consideration of approval of revised change order number 5 for Phase 2 construction contract. Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of revised change order number 5 for Phase 2 construction contract for the parking garage and realign CDBG budget to reflect construction change order and adjustment of budgeted items at no cost to the city as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is the consideration for review and approval of the easement and construction agreement of project SP-0018-03-022 SR12 and Russell Street improvement. This is a project that is going to be constructed by MDOT. primarily on MDOT right-of-way because this is the intersection project at the intersection of Russell Street and 12. It will complement our highway or our Russell Street bike and pedestrian project well. Frankly, it's probably a project we would have tried to do in the Russell Street bike and pedestrian project if MDOT had not expressed a desire to do it themselves. The good news is, since MDOT is doing it themselves, it will be 100% funded by MDOT, whereas if it had been a part of our bike and pedestrian project, it would have been an 80-20 match with the city paying 20% of the project. So they are asking for this easement so that they can complete the project.
Move approval.
Motion has been made by Alderman Little to approve of the easement and construction agreement of project SP-0018-03022, SR 12 and Russell Street improvement as presented. Alderman Little, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Carver. Alderman Little, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda, motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve the special event application for the annual Starkville Christmas Parade as submitted by Jennifer Prather of the Greater Starkville Development Partnership, granting authorization to close the necessary city streets for the purpose of the parade procession at a cost to the city of $4,755 and in-kind services as presented. Alderman
Second.
Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Motion has been made by Alderman Carver. It's been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
We'll just take the same traditional route and we'll come through here.
Ms. Prather?
I guess the question is in regards to City Hall.
Yeah, good evening, Board. The parade is gonna stay the same as it did last year, so we actually won't come down the exit in front of the new City Hall because we just don't think that there's enough room. Some of the bigger floats and the wider bands will really have to have that tight turn, so we're just gonna come main like we always do and take a left on Washington and then a right on Lampkin. So the TV filming will actually be on the south side of the Methodist Church like it was last year.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Alderman Webb?
I've got to say one thing, Ms. Prather. Last year, you all ordered great weather. Can you do that again
I'm
this year?
trying.
Okay, that's all I
Just don't think
want.
about it and hope for the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Board.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is a discussion and consideration of the appointment of 2 members to the Historic Preservation Commission for a 3-year term. Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard, and the names of the 2 appointments. I know Michael Fazio is one. I don't have it pulled up.
It's Cindy Sullivan.
All right, motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to appoint Cindy Sullivan and Michael Fazio to the Historic Preservation Commission for a 3-year term, with that term set to expire July 1st, 2018. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits? Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is the
Same move.
motion has been made by Alderman Carver to authorize the advertisement for janitorial services for City Hall and Police Department buildings as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any, Alderman Little?
Ms. Harden, are you gonna have any kind of specs as far as job description, as far as item, a checklist, you need to do A, B, C, and D each?
Yes, sir.
I noticed the hourly, you want somewhat, for your set hours, but I didn't know if you actually had duties at each time that would be expected.
The companies that I've spoken to, quote, that have already approached the city staff are quoting by hours. We can provide you with 20 hours of service or 30 hours of service for this, and they're basing that as they go through the building. I've taken several companies through the building, and they are basing it on how many hours they feel it will take to clean this building.
Okay.
And that's how they're basing their quote, so it will be based on how long they think it will take them to clean it,
Okay.
basically. But yes, there will be standards set, and, to be done at least 3 times a week, if not more.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Alderman
I
Wall.
just have a question, since this is gonna be for the new city hall and the police department, what line items will this be coming from a budgeting standpoint? Is it coming out of, part coming out of PD and part coming out of the general fund? How does that work?
You have a line item currently for it. We're not sure the line item is sufficient. So depending on how the proposals come in, we may have to add some to that line item. But for now, you do have an existing line item.
So we're gonna keep, the plan is to keep one line item for two separate buildings, or are we looking at, is that something we need to plan for in the next budget for janitorial services for both different buildings out of multiple line items?
Could really go either way, I think. If we want police to absorb a portion of that out of their budget, then we would separate the line items. We could put it under the general budget of the board or the mayor to service both. Once we get the bids in, I think we can identify where the revenue's coming from and have that discussion and decide how we want to do that.
And these are all general fund activities. So while departments do have separate budgets, it could affect different departmental budgets, but it's less pertinent since it's all coming from the general fund than if you had an enterprise fund involved. Alderman Vaughn.
Well, if that's the case, why we gonna pull the police department off there? Why we trying to accommodate them? Why we don't let them accommodate themselves? It's gonna come from their budget. Why we trying to accommodate them?
Well, our thinking is, it's probably most efficient to have the same, contractor, doing both buildings, because, just of economies of scale, rather than having two smaller contracts, having one larger contract, we would hope the price would be better. You know, you have an existing line, and I do have some doubt that we're going to find any service that can do it within the existing line. And we're gonna have to all put our heads together and make a determination as to where the additional funding is going to come from. But in a $16 million general budget, we'll find a way to fund the contract.
Have this been discussed with the police department that you're doing this?
We have had preliminary discussions that it needs to be done, but again, we don't have anything to reach a determination on right now. This is asking for requests so that we can get proposals in and actually have a more detailed conversation about what we have. We had hoped the existing company would give us a quote that was within our existing line that we could move seamlessly into. We did not get such a quote from them, and rather than just moving immediately to contract with that quote and making budgetary adjustments, we thought the prudent thing to do would be to make an advertisement and see who might want to come in and put a competitive price out there. Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. The next matter before you is the request for approval of the striping and signage plan for West Main Street and the Griffin parking lot.
So move.
Motion has been made by Alderman Vaughn to approve the striping and signage plan for West Main Street and the Griffin parking lot as presented. Alderman Vaughn, is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Vaughn, do you wish to speak on the merits?
Yes, sir, Mr. Kemp. Mayor, thank y'all so much for what all y'all doing to make this look different. And when we do get ready to stripe it, will you notify me so that I can try to be there, and then so that I can notify Griffin Church there, so they can try to be there?
Absolutely, and thank you for your help coming and visiting and giving us your thoughts on the striping. Alderman Carver.
For our public's knowledge, and myself included, so this is signage out here, and then Griffin is directly to the west, correct? Griffin's,
Yeah.
okay. So when we come here, is it best to park in the back, or is it anywhere on Main Street? It's a 2-hour parking after 5 p.m.?
Anywhere on Main Street's 2-hour parking, and technically the spots on the street will be 2-hour parking on West Main as well. However, the enforcement of 2-hour parking is most intense on Main Street.
Right.
And then the Griffin parking lot, when it's not being used by the church, will be the same as other public lots where it's access for an unlimited duration.
So if someone's coming up here to do normal city business, it's probably best to either be on West Main for, if you're gonna be here less than 2 hours, or go to Griffin if you're gonna be here longer.
Yeah, the safest bet, and what I've done often since we've been in the building, is to come down Cushman if you're coming from the west side of town, and come into the Griffin parking lot that way. Now, the striping pattern on West Main is going to be angled back towards Main. So if you're gonna park in the angled spots on West Main, then you need to come down Main Street to access those spots.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is the discussion and consideration of naming Alderman Walker and Mayor Wiseman to the Corridor Study Stakeholder Committee, and request for approval of Hall Planning and Engineering for planning and engineering services for the Starkville Multi-Way Boulevard Corridor Study, and authorization for the mayor to execute the contract and related paperwork in accordance with the MDOT LPA manual and small purchases contract procedure. And I would add to this, when a motion is made, the language at the end, pending MDOT approval, needs to be added per MDOT's request.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to approve of naming Alderman Walker and Mayor Wiseman to the Corridor Study Stakeholder Committee, and requesting for approval of Hall Planning and Engineering Incorporated for planning and engineering services for the Starkville Multi-Way Boulevard Corridor Study, and authorization for the mayor to execute the contract and related paperwork in accordance with the MDOT LPA manual and the MDOT small purchases contract procedure, pending MDOT approval as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is a request for, motion has been made by Alderman Carver to authorize Mayor Wiseman to execute an agreement with Prime Pay as submitted through Regions Insurance for Cobra Services, retiree billing, and other related services as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Well, I will make a comment, and that is to thank and congratulate the city attorney for negotiating the clauses such as the indemnification provision that were previously in the contract that technically violate state law out of the contract. If you recall at the meeting in our discussion, I expressed my doubt that they were ever going to strike those provisions from the contract. The city attorney provided an excellent service for the city, and he did get those provisions out of the contract. So, job well done, Mr. Latimer.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also want to make those same comments, and I also want to go a step further. I want to thank my distinguished colleagues for sending the matter to the city attorney, for standing their ground on this matter. And this shows that, we are about the business of doing what we think is right for the city of Starkville. And Mr. City Attorney, in light of the board's representation that it did not want to approve the matter as it existed when it was previously before us, we appreciate, as the mayor said, your fine leadership in making this happen for us. We want you to continue doing that, and this is what makes this city great. So just keep working hard for us, and we appreciate you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Alderman Nguyen.
Council Latimer.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your fine leadership as always on
Thank
this
you.
matter.
I
Thank you
really
so much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. And before proceeding with the agenda, I want to make one special recognition tonight, and that is while he is not leaving us just yet, this is in all likelihood going to be Randy Boyd's last board meeting with us. Randy is going to transition for the next several months into a role as special advisor in our Human Resources Department as he and his family relocate to Cookeville, Tennessee. I will tell you, Randy is one of the most superb human resource managers you will ever find anywhere. And the city has been so fortunate to have him. Miss Stephanie Halbert will be acting Human Resources Director for the next several months as well. And we look forward to that transition. Randy, you and your wife have been an asset to the city, and we will miss seeing you on Tuesday nights. The next matter on the agenda is an update on the acquisition and installation. There's
nothing to move. We have it recognized?
Yes. Alderman Maynard.
We approved a addition of a siren to be located on the corner of Ree Road and Hospital Road, I think back in June with some pending grant money. Ms. Phyllis Benson had requested that we wait for the new fiscal year for the federal government to start in October to access that money. Ms. Lisa Harden and Ms. Benson called to follow up on that this week, and we're still in the process of getting through the federal government red tape to get access to that money. I just wanted to inform the board that that's still on go and we're still moving forward with that. We're just having to get through the process in order to access the funds. So that's where we stand at this point. As soon as we know more, I'll let you know.
And the next matter on the agenda is an update by the police chief on the wording to be placed on the exterior of the former City Hall building. Chief Thomas.
Mayor, we just recently received authorization from Mississippi Department of Archives and History to change the signage on the front where it says City Hall, and they're going to allow us to put police there. It used to have armory on it, and six letters for police. And Chief Nichols is going to put 14-inch black lettering on there that says police. So, and it has been approved by the Department of Archives and History.
Thanks, Chief. The next matter on the agenda is a discussion of the vacant and grassy tract on 182 in Jackson. Alderman Perkins.
Thank you. Mr. Sanders, you come on down and you can just get you one of these chairs down here. They look pretty comfortable. Mr. Sanders, as you approach, we certainly want to thank you for your leadership and all of the things you do for our city. This tract of parcel land, just for the public, is located on the western side of 182 and Jackson Street, and this is across from the Shell station. And we have been informed that the Family Dollar store is proposing to locate from its current location to this vacant and grassy lot. Mr. Sanders, I have received a number of calls and comments, concerns, and complaints about this lot. The citizens have consistently expressed that this location, as it currently appears, is a very strong eyesore to our city. We, the mayor and board, have expended great time, money, energy, efforts, and resources to get Highway 182 in the condition that it is now in. The board in the past has worked to get the Mississippi Department of Transportation to do the overlay and all the other related improvements for that location. We certainly appreciate Family Dollar's desire to locate in our community, and we want them to be a part of our community. In being part of our community, we want this corporation to ensure that its premises are well kept and maintained, and we want them to be held to the same standards as our citizens. If we have a citizen, Mr. Sanders, as you're aware, the code compliance officer will be sent out to give a citation or violation notice for them to appear before the administrative process. So the reason we asked you to come down tonight is that the necessary and proper action needs to be taken to ensure that we get rid of this eyesore. The eyesore is this lot is just built upon a high level of dirt, and it seems like it's going nowhere. It looks real bad. It is very unacceptable. We cannot tolerate that, and we need to take whatever action you as the department head think is necessary to inform the Family Dollar Corporation that something got to be done. They cannot continue to keep the lot like it is. It's been like that for a long time now, and we need to get their attention. So my question to you, Mr. Sanders, the department head, brief the mayor and the board as to what are the plans to get this site in a situation where it does not look like it is now. What are the plans in your explanation? Talk about, do they plan to build there? I've seen a sign say for sale. Where are they headed? And if they do not plan to do anything, I want to know how soon they can get in and clean this lot up, and they need to keep it clean. It just looks terrible. It looks ridiculous. It looks deplorable. It looks grassy. That's not how we want to keep Starkville. They need to understand, and yet we appreciate them now. Don't misunderstand me. We appreciate Family Dollar, but this lot needs to be cut and needs to be maintained just like we require the citizens. So I want you to let us know what is the status of this project. What are they planning to do? What are you hearing from the main office?
Yes, sir, and I agree with you. What is taking place is New Current Development requested to place a retention pond at the intersection of Jackson 182 as an alteration to their site plan. I denied that the retention pond, above ground retention pond. The Planning and Zoning Board upheld that denial. The applicant has decided not to appeal the decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission. On November 14th, Code Enforcement Officer Jeff Lyles mailed a letter to Blue Card Development, putting them on notice of their code violations referring to high vegetation and also cemetery issues. On November 16th, the applicant made an application for a building permit. On November 17th, today, the applicant was informed that the code violations would have to come into play and that be corrected, and that the soil erosion and control plan would need to be approved and the site brought into compliance before they could be issued a building permit.
Mr. Sanders, in light of that report, how soon can they get in here and get that grass cut? They get some swing blades. We get mowers in here. That grass has got to be cut. We cannot go through all this winter. It's going to be inclement weather before too long.
Yes, sir.
And we're a town of destination, and we cannot tolerate this. So I want to report on this every meeting until the grass gets cut. Yes. I've been very patient with this. People have been calling. I've just been kind of sitting back, just kind of hoping it will cure itself. And it's not your fault. We appreciate you. You just having to face this as a department head. But will you ensure that let's just stay on this? We need to stay on it. You got to get the grass cut. It looks real bad. So I want you to continue to give us an update every meeting until that grass is cut, and then when they get it cut, they need to maintain. I want to appreciate all the activities that you just got, November the 14th, November the 16th, November the 17th, there's some progress, but the grass is still looking bad.
Yes, the grass issue did come up in staff meeting today regarding this project. We're giving the applicant 10 days to cut the grass. If that does not take place in the, after that time period, we will cut the grass and then place liens on the property.
Very well. Very well. Keep us updated. Mr. Mayor, I'm gonna yield the floor behind that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. The next matter on the agenda is the approval to purchase construction materials and signage for the North Nash. Motion has been made by Alderman Walker to approve the purchase of construction materials and signage for the North Nash traffic calming project at a cost not to exceed $5,000 to be paid from Ward 4 discretionary funds as presented. Alderman Walker, is that your motion?
Yes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Walker, do you wish to speak on the merits?
Other than to say that this project is nearing completion, and this is going to be for new soil and plant material and signage for that, and hopefully, city engineer, we're talking about a couple weeks out, potentially being having this project wrapped up.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for approval to accept the lowest and best. Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to approve the acceptance of the lowest and best bid received for contract A supply of 8-unit T-hanger as received from Erectitube Incorporated as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Carver. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is a request for approval to award contract B for construction of 8-unit T-hanger building and related appurtenances to T&M Steel Erectors Incorporated at the lowest and best bid.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to approve an award for contract B for construction of 8-unit T-hanger building and related appurtenances to T&M Erectors Incorporated, the lowest and best bid as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Any, Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is the discussion and consideration of VA 15-06.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to approve of VA 15-06. Scott Sanford requesting relief by variance from Appendix A, Article 6, Section B, location of accessory structures on residential lots at 506 Cright Street, zoned R2, Ward 5, as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second? Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is the discussion and consideration of FP 15-16.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to approve of FP 15-16.
With the 3 conditions recommended by planning and zoning.
A request for final plat approval for subdividing 1 lot into 5 lots at the southwest corner of the intersection of Deer Road and Highway 12 East with the parcel number of 117F-00-002.00 with the 3 conditions recommended by staff and as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
It is.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits?
Mr. Nelson, do you have any comments on this?
No, sir. Not unless you need me to
Okay, good. No, sir, Mayor.
And any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is a request for approval of on-street parking on Russell Street in coordination with the construction of the 505 development project.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to approve of on-street parking on Russell Street in coordination with the construction of the 505 development project as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, it is.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion, saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is the request for approval of the low quote. Motion has been made by Alderman Vaughn for the, to approve of the low quote from Hester Fence in the amount of $6,380 for the Henderson School Sidewalk Connection Project, which will run along the north side of Highway 182 from the University Motel to School Street, to be paid from Ward 7 discretionary funds as presented. Alderman Vaughn, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Vaughn, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion, any discussion? Alderman Maynard.
I want to thank Alderman Vaughn for using those discretionary funds to finish that sidewalk out. Why it wasn't finished to begin with, I don't know, but I'm glad we're finally getting that last section done, so the kids can get across the street and get to school.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is a request for approval of the October 2015 financial statement.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to approve of the October 2015 financial statement as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is a request for authorization for the city clerk's office to advertise for source supply bids.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize the city clerk's office to advertise for source supply bids for all departments other than the electric department, for the period, of January 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2016, as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Alderman Vaughn.
Mr. Mayor, what all sorts of this, consist of?
I'm gonna let the city clerk fill that one.
We put out bids for all, supplies and materials that are used throughout the city. It'll be, anything from asphalt to water meters, to anything we can use as a guide. We use the supplies as a guide. If it's anything over $5,000, we will advertise for bids on a project. But it gives us a guide for, it's about I'm looking at, Mr. Kemp. The water and sewer items, all the items that are used by the water and sewer department, the water meters, the, lines,
Just put that in there, a lot of things like some plastic or products like that, they won't be for 6 months out. Those are taken on individual bids, because they're very large projects. The general reoccurring material supplies is what we use, and we will be on source supply.
the bulk of it's water and sewer.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is request for authorization for city clerk CFO Lisa Harden. Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize city clerk CFO Lisa Harden to attend the 2015 municipal clerk Winter Educational Conference in Jackson, Mississippi, December 16th through 18th, with an advanced travel of $464.50. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the matter?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for approval to advertise for a vacant position of foreman in the street department.
So moved.
Motion has been made by, was that Walker? By Alderman Walker to approve the advertisement to fill the vacant position of foreman in the street department as presented. Alderman Walker, is that your motion?
Yes.
Do I hear a second? Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Walker, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for approval to advertise for the fill position of system network administrator.
So moved. moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to approve the advertisement to fill the position of System Network Administrator in the Information Technology Department as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Maynard, you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for approval. Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to approve the advertisement to fill the position of warehouse manager in the utilities department as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Maynard, you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Y'all do remember to continue to vote. Next matter on the agenda is a request for authorization to
So
hire.
moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize the hire of Martisa Bishop to fill the position of deputy clerk payroll in the city clerk finance department as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, it
Do I
is.
hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Carver. Alderman Maynard, you wish to speak on the merits?
City clerk, when will she start in that position if approved tonight?
I would ask that she continue to help with the accounting duties until the payroll is filled, but she will be out for 2 weeks. She is getting married to the day after Thanksgiving, but she'll be able to help with that payroll. There is a payroll due on Thanksgiving Day, actually. So she'll be able to assist with that payroll, but then she will be out for 2 weeks, getting married to one of our local firemen, actually, so.
Who will do the payroll in her absence?
I would
Stephanie.
defer that to the payroll director at that time. I mean, the human resource director, I'm sorry.
You've got her covered while she's out on, not maternity leave, on honeymoon leave, marriage leave, that you're gonna cover payroll while she's gone. Thank you.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is a request for authorization to advertise to fill the vacant position of deputy
So
clerk.
moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize the advertisement to fill the vacant position of deputy clerk accounting assistant in the city clerk finance department. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Carver. Alderman Maynard, you wish to speak on the merits? Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion?
Got discussion right here.
Oh, Alderman Perkins.
Yes, Mayor, thank you very much. Honorable City Clerk, is this position that Ms. Martisa Bishop is in right now, that you're seeking to advertise?
Yes, sir, it is, yes, sir.
Okay, I was under the impression that Ms. Martisa Bishop, in filling Ms. Debbie Clark's position, will serve as accountant. When do we create a accounting assistant position? Is that something I missed, or do we have, and if I did, do we have an accounting position and an accounting assistant? I was unaware that we had both of those in the city clerk's office. Tell me.
No, sir, there's only one position, and Ms. Clark, my understanding was the accounting assistant to the clerk when she was here.
Yeah,
That's the job description.
Ms. Howard, will you come down here a minute, please? As you come in, Ms. Howard, I'm not gonna prolong the time tonight. This is a very important matter. I remember when Ms. Clark came to the city years ago, and I have always understood her to serve as the city accountant. She came from the county. She joined the city of Starkville. I was on the budget committee for a number of years, and she served as the accountant. And so what I would like for you to do at our next meeting, which will be Tuesday, December 1, 2015, I want you to please put that job description in the packet, and I want you to give us some packet information to tell the mayor and board when was this accounting assistant, when was this alleged accounting assistant position created. I want the minutes showing when it was created. I want the minutes showing when the accounting position was created, and I want documentation showing the title, official documentation showing the title of the position that Ms. Clark held. So until then, I'm going to just defer any further comments. But if you could give us a thorough presentation, I want you just to put that in the packet. If I decide to make any comments, the mayor, I get recognition under the comment section. But just get that for the packet for the December 1 meeting. The bottom line is, and I'm not questioning the city clerk at this point, but I just make sure that I do my own research and get my own information to ensure that, I find out, whether or not there's an accounting position and accounting assistant, or is the accounting assistant being said in error, or do we have both or one? I just wanna make sure we're right. So I'm not saying we're wrong, but I just make sure we're right. Can you get that for us by December 1?
Yes, sir, I can.
Just put that in the board packet. Thank you very much. Ms. Mayor, thank you.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Alderman Maynard.
Do you want Ms. Howard to also report back what Ms. Bishop's position was and what that job description was?
That'd be good, and, that'd be good. She can, get that, information back. And
Did you hear that, Ms. Howard? I'm sorry. Could you also include Ms. Bishop's job description and title is, that she was hired in on as well, just for clarification from Ms. Clark to Ms. Bishop?
And Mr.
Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, one last thing, maybe get a brief recognition, Ms. Mayor.
You may.
And maybe Ms. Bishop need to have a short, honeymoon so she can get back to work on this new job, since she's just getting hired for it tonight, her new salary, instead of taking off 2 weeks at this point in time. It's a very important position, the payroll clerk position. You get in the job, you want the job, then you go on vacation for 2 weeks. And this is not what the taxpayers, in my opinion, expect for the city of Starkville. I know Ms. Habert is willing to do that, but if you want to apply for a job, you need to come to work and work and fulfill the duties of the job instead of want to take off 2 weeks after you get in the job and then get to pay for the job. But Ms. Habert, we appreciate your willingness to do that, but that does not register well with me. We hire you tonight to promote you in a position, then in 2 weeks you're on vacation. And you're the floor, Mayor.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion?
Mr.
Seeing
Mayor.
none.
No further discussion.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Y'all remember to vote. The next matter on the agenda is the request for authorization to hire Ryan Adair to fill the position of accounting clerk in the utilities department. Discussion.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize the hire of Ryan Adair to fill the position of accounting clerk in the utilities department as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir, it is.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Maynard, you wish to speak on the matter?
Yes, sir.
Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Matter clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is a request for authorization to hire David Perry.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize the hire of David Perry as a full-time driver in the sanitation department as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Maynard, you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? Alderman Vaughn, is that a hand?
No, sir.
Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for approval of the holiday schedule.
So,
Motion has been made by Alderman Walker to approve the 2016 holiday schedule for the city of Starkville as presented. Alderman Walker, is that your motion?
Yes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded by Alderman Carver. Alderman Walker, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No.
Any discussion? Alderman Vaughn.
Mr. Mayor, why did we add Columbus Day in?
We've taken Columbus Day the last several years. Columbus Day was added on a year, several years ago when there was no pay raise that was given to the employees, and that was the justification that was given, and it's been kept in the years since. Alderman Vaughn, you still have the floor.
I yield the floor.
Further discussion. Alderman Maynard.
Alderman, can I borrow that list?
Yeah. 2 days, I'm not pleased with.
Mayor, I want to ask Ms. Gandy, because I've got one constituent, actually, I've got multiple constituents that have brought this issue to my attention. But this year, I think, is even more prevalent that is coming due. We will have 7 Mondays that we don't collect trash. And that's almost an entire month that we're not collecting trash on Monday. So what I'm going to ask is, can you put together a counter proposal to the holiday section for sanitation where maybe half of them get off the Friday before and half work that Monday to collect Monday trash? Maybe it's even that we pay overtime on the holiday that they're working to collect Monday trash, so that we can consistently collect that trash on those days, because most of these holidays hit on a Monday. And then this particular year, 2016, day after Christmas is also gonna be on a Monday. So there's a total of 7 that we're hitting. I'm not asking you to commit to anything tonight, but could you come out with a proposal so that we could potentially resolve that issue?
I will, Alderman Maynard. I had spoke with Alderman Little because he had the same concern several weeks ago. The problem that we're running into is that we don't own the landfill. We're using someone else's landfill, so we have to work around their schedule. Secondly, we only have enough staff to maintain our current route. If we let half our staff out, we have 4 trucks, and those 4 trucks pick up in 4 different areas each day. So if we pick up half of one route, the problem will be that that's gonna have to be picked up at some point. Now, that's gonna cause us to go, to either go over and not have any way to dispose of that, because those landfills are closed.
Would there be an alternative to pick up everybody on Tuesday?
Every Tuesday is, currently, Tuesday is our heaviest day, and our trucks on their current route get in at about 2 o'clock. So there's just not enough time on that, but like I said, I will look at it
Okay.
again and come back with some numbers back. Just rough drafting from my conversation with Alderman Little, I don't see how it can be done, but again, I will look at it again and see if there's any way possible, that we can alter our schedule.
Okay. That's what I would like to see. Mayor, would the board be willing to postpone this vote until we get that proposal back? Please.
Sure. Is that a motion to table?
Yes.
Motion has
But I think
been,
there's actually a motion and a second out there, so I don't know.
you can table the motion.
I would make a motion to table that motion until we hear back from Ms. Gandy at the next board meeting.
Second.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to table the motion in discussion. It's been seconded by Alderman Perkins. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. All those opposed, motion,
I had a question. I wanted to.
motion
I
clearly
wanted to be sure.
passes, back in general discussion, Alderman Little.
Ms. Gandy, did you hear, we'd like for you to report back at the next board meeting on our options?
Sorry, I did not.
Did you hear, Mr. Maynard, that you are to report back at the next board meeting on our options
Okay.
so we can vote on the schedule for next year? Thank you.
The next matter on the agenda is the request for authorization for Corporal
So
Josh.
moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize Corporal Josh Wilson and Sergeant Shane Kelly to attend NRA Select Fire Rifle Instructor Training in Florence, Alabama, December 7th through 11th, 2015, with advanced travel in the total amount of $2,333.95 as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for authorization for Pedro Riera. Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize Pedro Riera to attend a crime scene investigation class in Biloxi, Mississippi, December 7th through 9th, 2015, with advanced travel in the amount of $728 as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits? Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is request for authorization to remove 3 taser.
Move approval.
Motion has been made by Alderman Little to authorize the removal of 3 Taser X-26 from the city inventory, which are broken and cannot be repaired as presented. Alderman Little, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second? Motion's been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Little, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion?
I've got a question. How will those be disposed of?
They'll probably be just like our firearms, we'll cut them in half. Dispose of them. They're very, I think they're very opinion.
Thank you. No further questions, Mayor.
Yeah, any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for authorization to allow one police officer to be assigned. Motion has been made by Alderman Vaughn to authorize the allowance of one police officer to be assigned to work with the U.S. Marshal Task Force at the discretion of the police chief as presented. Alderman Vaughn, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Vaughn, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion?
I have one.
Alderman Maynard.
Do we have to enter into a contract with the Marshal Service for that?
I believe that's the case.
It was attached, I believe.
And the mayor has to sign that, correct?
Correct, and I reviewed it today, and it's right for his execution.
Okay. I'll just include in that motion that the mayor, friendly amendment to that the mayor be authorized to sign that contract.
Alderman Vaughn, do you yield?
Yes, sir.
Without objection, seeing none, motion has been so amended, to add, the authorization of the mayor, to sign the contract as presented.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is the authorization of purchase of, motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize the purchase of an SUV all-wheel drive vehicle. The vehicle will be purchased with monies in the DARE fund and will be purchased at the state contract price of $26,281 as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Maynard, you wish to speak on the merits?
Yes.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for authorization to suspend an application. Motion has been made by Alderman Vaughn to authorize the submittal of an application with the Office of Highway Safety Patrol in relation to 100% reimbursable grant in the area of funding for overtime enforcement in the amount of $20,000. Funding for LEL luncheons during the Click It or Ticket campaign and equipment in the area of one radar for a monitor unit. This funding is in the amount of $23,673.60 as presented. Alderman Vaughn, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
The motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Vaughn, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. The measure clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is the request for permission to submit an application. Motion has been made by Alderman Vaughn to approve the submittal of an application with the Office of Highway Safety in relation to a 100% reimbursable grant in the area of funding for 2 DUI officer salaries equipment in the form of one radar LEL network funds for luncheons and overtime for enforcement in DUI offenses for a total requested in the amount of $98,356.34. Alderman Vaughn, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Vaughn, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Alderman Maynard.
Do we know a timeline when we'll hear back if we're awarded this grant or not?
No, sir, it's, once we submit it and everything, start our lieutenant word, they'll send him confirmation of it, but there's never a time.
Will you please pass on and let them know if it's awarded, notify the board? Thank you very much.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for authorization for travel for Emma Gandy.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize travel for Emma Gandy, Courtney Ross, and Cap Riley to attend the Class 1 rubbish landfill certification training in Jackson, Mississippi on December 2nd and 3rd, 2015, with advanced travel not to exceed $950 as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay.
Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for authorization for the Starkville utilities.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize Starkville Utilities to advertise for source of supply bids for the electric department material for the period of January 1st, 2016 through January 30, 2016, as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the matter?
No.
Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is a request for authorization for Starkville Utilities to enter into a pole attachment license agreement with Telepac Networks.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maynard to authorize Starkville Utilities to enter into a pole attachment license agreement with Telepac Networks, Inc. as presented. Alderman Maynard, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Maynard, do you wish to speak on the matter?
No, sir.
Any discussion, any discussion? Alderman Little.
I was gonna ask city attorney if the contract looks agreeable in your,
The terms have been negotiated and are agreeable to the city, yes, sir.
good deal, thank you.
Any further discussion, any further discussion, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for authorization to
Move approval.
advertise. Motion has been made by Alderman Little to authorize the advertisement of sealed construction bids to replace failing gravity sewer system in South Starkville Banyan Road Force Main Project as presented. Alderman Little, is that your motion?
It is.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Little, do you wish to speak on the merits?
I do. I wanted to compliment Mr. Kemp in, your efforts to secure the ARC, grant in this project. It's a significant project and, it's been ongoing now for about 15, 16 months, and it's affected several of the residents who have been overly patient, and I appreciate that, on their behalves. And, I also appreciate your diligence in getting the easements that's slowed down the process by a couple of property owners and working with them and getting them to be agreeable to let us move forward with these repairs. Thank you.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Measure clearly passes. That exhausts the open session portion of our agenda. Do I hear a motion to go into closed session to determine whether there's a need for executive session? Motion has been made by Alderman Little to go into closed session to determine whether there's a need for an executive session. Do I hear a second?
Second?
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Little, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Clearly passes. I ask the public to clear the premises so the board can begin closed session deliberations. And without objection, I'm gonna take us into a brief recess and